This video discusses some of the differences between entering time as a negative time entry employee versus a positive time entry employee. So for positive time entry folks, there are no schedules in SAP that tell you what hours you work. You basically have an open 24-hour schedule, as you see here, with a planned total number of hours throughout the pay period of about 336 hours. So what you will be doing in order to get paid is entering every hour that you've worked throughout the pay period. So how we do this is a couple different ways. First of all, if you are going to be charging your time to a particular cost object, then you may need to enter that information here. So for example, if I am charging my time to one of the cost centers in BES, I might choose that cost center, or an order or a WBS element, and then I need to enter my attendance type. What did I do during that time frame? So there are a variety of ones that you can use, and if you have any questions about what codes you should be using, please contact your timekeeper. In this particular case, I'll use 0HWP, which is pretty standard for hours worked. And then I will come over here and actually put hours in for the pay period. Now notice I have all of these different columns visible. If you don't use all of these columns, for example, you're not an activity type bureau, or you're not using external work orders or overtime, premiums, things like that, or you're not going to have a FEMLA request, then you can change your entry view up here to one of the other options that are available. If I change it over to basic, then I lose the cost center that I entered before. So in this particular case, I may want to keep that on, a show all, so that I can see that cost center that I entered. Now, to enter my time, I just go to the day that I need to enter time for. Let's say I worked 6 hours on Thursday, and I started my day at 9 o'clock. So I enter 9 and hit enter on my keyboard, and it takes the 6 and adds 6 hours to the 9 o'clock start time and ends me at 1500 hours. If you need to account for your lunch break or anything else like that, then you could say that you worked from 9 to 12 as an example, and then you would just enter a second line. 0HWP. Oops, change that 9 o'clock to 12, and then say 1300, like that. So you do have the option of either entering your hours as one consecutive group of hours, but your bureau may choose, or your manager may choose, for you to break out your lunch break, in this case, so they can see when you took your lunch. So those are the options for entering for positive time entry. Now, if I didn't have anything else to enter, most positive time entry employees will have just basic 0HWP as their attendance type, and then they'll just go through and enter their hours for the day, start time, and then you can scroll across to the different days. So if I click the next day button, I have access to enter. Let's say I did 2 hours where I'm charging my time to a cost object here starting at 8 o'clock, and then maybe I have another 4 hours that I put in that day starting at 10 o'clock, and so I hit enter and it fills in all those times for me. So that's the basics for entering in your hours into the timesheet. If you have any questions, as I mentioned, contact your timekeeper. They'll be able to help you. And once you're done entering your time for the pay period, you'll want to click the Save button, and that will save your time. And then at the very end, after you have saved your time, you'll want to certify it so that your manager and the timekeeper know that you have entered all of your time and that you are finished with your time entry for the pay period.